Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Duels. This week we're going to be taking a look at a pretty spicy green-white Bloodbriar deck. So this one I've actually been brewing for quite some time. You may notice in the line of decks that Giripa Retreats is the next one along, and that was the first deck we played when Kaladesh was released. So this one's been sitting here for quite some time, and I just never finished it, honestly. So I thought, this is the week. We're going to do a Bloodbriar deck. It's got a lot of Kaladesh cards in it that make it a lot more viable as well. So if you haven't checked out the deck tech, then be sure to do that. It's a very interesting deck. Anyway, guys, this episode is sponsored by 5 Color Combo. So if you check the description, you'll find a link to their website where you can find some really cool Magic the Gathering tokens made by real Magic the Gathering artists. So if that's something that interests you, then be sure to check out the website. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the games. Okay, we're in. We are on the draw. We have a lot of turn 3 plays, so it's a little slow, but we have all lands for the actual process towards it, so let's take it. Black, white for our opponent. Okay. This could be like a Fabricate deck or a Drain deck. We'll see. We'll lead off with Evolving Wilds. I don't really want to be drawing into too many lands after this point. Most of our cards are 3 mana costs, as you can probably tell. So we just need to be at 3 mana, really. Another black into Serene Steward. Is that an ally? It is an ally, so it must be black-white allies then. Do we need any doubles of anything? Green mana is the choice. Okay. And more mana. Wonderful. Yay. So, running 24 lands, something like that. And I've had to cut the last 2 matches because every single turn I drew lands. And I'm not exaggerating. 2 games in a row for 5 turns in a row drawing lands. The odd one-off card that you couldn't cast as well. But for the most part, every single turn, lands. It's great. So this looks like life drain then, because these guys get pumped up if you gain life. So, with that in mind, what do we want to do? Well, we'll play some Petal Grove. And I guess we'll just play Tireless Tracker. It's a little bit of card advantage. We can boost it probably above these guys for a little while. Sure. He's going to be getting in for 4 minimum. We can get in for 4 minimum. You know, we'll see what we do. Alright, he's down to 4 cards though, and we're still up at 6. Declaration in Stone. Well, we get our clue token. Fair play. We can't crack it on this next turn though, unless we don't want to cast anything. So, we're probably just going to play one of our lovely cards here. Probably Pious Evangel. Since he seems to probably want to be draining our life, we might as well be gaining some of it back. So, I guess that's what we're going to go with. Could also pull some Marasa and Evolving Wilds, but we've already played our land drop this turn, so I don't really want to be doing that. So we'll go with an Evangel. And gain a life. And pass the turn. And then we can Filigree Familiar and gain 3 life. Or even Bygone Bishop, so that we can gain some clues. Anguished Unmaking for our Pious Evangel. Sure. If there's any upside, he's down to 1 card and his board state isn't actually terrifying at all. We've got 12 life in our hand with these pulses, which can get back whatever cards that he doesn't exile, which at this point there isn't many. And Filigree Familiar is coming down. It's going to gain us some more life, up to 13, and we're going to pass the turn. If he doesn't kill our Familiar, and we don't feel the need to block, we could Angelic Purge and sacrifice the Familiar, which will draw us a card, and we'll be able to get rid of something like that. This guy drains you for 1 whenever you gain life, so it all adds up in the end. With that in mind, oh, we could sack the clue, actually, so I'm going to block one of them. He's not gaining any life, so this is just a normal trade where we benefit a little bit more from it. And we get a land, which is actually quite nice. Since we got a lot of 3 drops, Be nice to get up to 6 mana so that we can actually do more than one thing in a turn. Yeah, I think we just Angelic Purge away this guy. If he's down to top decks, then fairly confident we can come back from this. Especially the fact that we can get Pulse into Filigree Familiar. And we'll do it after a Bygone Bishop as well. And hopefully, since we'll be playing this land, we'll be able to do 2 things next turn. So, Angelic Purge here. Get rid of the Cliffhaven Vampire and sacrifice our Clue token. So we'll exile that guy, get him out of the way. So he's just left with a single Serene Steward, which does nothing without help. It's just a 2-2. And Shambling Vet is a way to help it. So we need to get it off the board, essentially. But Bygone Bishop and Pulse of Marassa next turn seems to be the optimal play. Unless we draw something better. Like a Bloodbriar. Ooh. Forest. We could go Bygone Bishop into Bloodbriar, get a Clue token. Gives a nice target for Angelic Purge to get rid of his Steward, which will probably get pumped up to a 3-3. And that's a sacrifice for the Bloodbriar, so that's going to get a lot bigger. We can then pulse back Evolving Wilds as well, which has another sack outlet. Thins out our deck. I think that's the way to go. And he's so empty-handed now that he has to get lucky on the cards that he draws. So I'm kind of betting that I'm more lucky than him, and that's a bad thing to do today of all days, apparently. So we'll see. We likely just see Shambling Vents. Maybe even getting in here. Well, actually, probably don't want to lose it to a double block. That's fair enough. We get another land. Okay, well... Sack a Clue, first of all. Go up to a 3-4 on our Bloodbriar. And a Lunarch Mantle. Alright. We're not going to be suiting that up until we've got protection for our Bloodbriar, but that could close out the game quite quickly. Under the right circumstances. Let's go Pulse. Grab an Evolving Wilds. Play the Evolving Wilds. Swing in with both of our creatures here. He could go with his Shambling Vent and double block. That would be 4 power in total, and then we sack the Evolving Wilds, go up to 5. So it just depends on what card that is. We could just swing in with the Bygone Bishop, but if it is a Blessed Alliance, which I expect it might be in a deck like this, it's a pretty big blowout. In fact, is it even worth attacking into a board like that? I feel like I should probably wait, because if it is a Blessed Alliance, then he gains 4 life. This goes up another power to a 3, which gives him enough strength to kill our Bloodbriar. And our Bloodbriar with the Lunarch Mantle is just absolutely insane. So, yeah, we're just going to pass. We're not going to attack here. It's just not worth the risk. Pass the turn. I should probably sack my Evolving Wilds, actually, at the best possible moment. Because I'm done with sacking it on our opponent's turn. Because lag. Always lag. So I best get into the habit of doing that now. So he gets to read the bones. He gets to fill up his hand a little bit. He's going to lose a little bit more life, though. But we're just looking for protection at the moment for our Bloodbriar. Once we have that, then we're going in for the kill. Because we can pay 1, sacrifice a permanent. We can use the mana and sacrifice the same land to give it +1/+1 and flying. And every single time we sack a land, we keep a counter as well. So we can pump it as much as we have lands with the Lunarch Mantle on, which is pretty awesome. But we need protection. Is essentially the case. Well, in this scenario, I'm not afraid to get in, even with a Blessed Alliance. Yeah, we'll just swing in first, I think. See if he does have the answer. He either does and he's choosing not to use it, or... actually, should we do anything special here? Or should we just play a land and pulse on his turn, grabbing and evolving wilds? So what we could do is pulse and get back a familiar, play the familiar, which will get us a clue token which Angelic Purge can use. Can only hit this lady here, but she's pretty bad. And plus he's got a lot of lands now. And he's just refilled his hand, so having a loaded Angelic Purge is pretty good. Yeah, I think I'll grab the familiar here. Play a land. And play the familiar. Leaves open some mana to sack the clue as well, if we want to do that. And short of a removal spell for our Bloodbriar, we could just potentially win next turn, especially if he taps out. I'm going to suit up that Shambling Vents. Sure. Collective Effort. Gonna put a counter on everything, I'm guessing. And he's gonna destroy our Bloodbriar. That's fair enough. So he lives to fight another day. Gets him for 3. Alright, well. Getting him for 4. So he's gonna go essentially down 1 to 6. I'm just wondering whether or not we want to draw an extra card off this familiar. I think we want to keep it around though as an extra attacker. And sack a clue instead. Evolutionary Leap. It's not bad. Gets us towards a Bloodbriar. And he gets to pay 1 and put a counter on his Shambling Vents. Ooh, from beyond. It's nice. Well, Evolutionary Leap. It's going to stop him getting life gain as well, because we're going to be able to sack in response to the block, so he doesn't deal any combat damage with his Shambling Vent, and therefore no life gain, which is nice. We'll go From Beyond as well, so that we can get some lovely, lovely Scion tokens to sack once we find our Bloodbriar with our Evolutionary Leap, which shouldn't be too hard. So we've only gone through 1. And actually, hold that one back. We're going to be blocking and sacking with you. Okay. And pass the turn. Calastria Healer. Whenever it or an ally enters the battlefield, you get to drain for 1. So he goes up to 9, we go down to 19. And he gets to put a counter on something. On itself. Okay. And he's going to suit up Shambling Vents. This we knew was happening. Gets in with both. So we're going to block. Pause. And sack the familiar. We draw a card. And then we search for the nearest creature, which is a Selfless Spirit. That would have been a lovely way to keep our Bloodbriar safe had we got it earlier. In fact, do I want to sack the Bishop? No, I think I'll get my clues off of it first. We've got at least 1 clue to get, and we've also got Scion tokens. There's a Bloodbriar. Alright. So we'll resolve a Selfless Spirit before we play Bloodbriar. Get a clue token from the Bishop. Play the Bloodbriar. Gets us another clue token. If this Bloodbriar survives the turn, then we likely just win. Tragic Arrogance does not help us here either, unfortunately. Do I want to put the Lunarch Mantle on now. I think that'll just give him an idea of what we're doing. It's potentially just gonna make him want to try and get rid of it. Whereas we want it to come as a surprise to him that he's going to die. So, we'll pass. Plays a land. He's got a lot now. Kambal. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, you hurt them a lot. And Lantern Scout to give everything lifelink. Which we can actually negate all of the life gain that he's going to have. Yep, yes we can. And since he's empty-handed, we don't need to keep Selfless Spirit around because there's nothing of interest. Alright, so sack the Scion. Get a counter on Bloodbriar. Our opponent is dead. We get another Bloodbriar. Time for the sweet-ass combo. A Drownyard Temple. Lovely. Play Drownyard Temple. Lunite Mantle on the Bloodbriar. Combo engaged. We do lose 2, but he's going to lose a lot more. Gets to put a counter on his Lantern Scout. That's fine. We are going to sack a permanent. We're going to sack a clue. It's now got flying. We're going to sack a permanent. Oh, come on. We're going to sack another permanent. There's another clue. Gets +1/+1 again. We're going to sack a permanent. Going to sack that Drownyard Temple. Let's get +1/+1. So we're going for 4. Let's just resolve. Let's make sure we're going enough. Yeah, there's 12 right there. That's lethal. There's no reach, no combat tricks, no nothing. Cool. And swinging over the top. As you can tell, we could continue sacking 4 more permanents to get much more. Actually, 5 markers of the Scion token. There you go. That's what the deck does. Alright, let's go to the next game. Okay, we're in. We're on the play. We have 3 lands, which is where we need to be. Got Uvenwald Mysteries, Selfless Spirit on turn 2, into Mysteries turn 3, from beyond turn 4, and Protection for our Bloodbriar when we eventually get it. This seems like a fair hand. Let's go with it. Go Forest first, and pass the turn over to Kylots06, rank 33, who is playing a different game. Oh no, there we go. Green-red. Okay. Sure. Ooh, Evil Leap. It's not bad. We'll still go some Petal Grove into Selfless Spirit, though. I think our curve hasn't really changed, although if we don't hit our 4th land drop, then Evolutionary Leap is going to change from that to from beyond. Right, pass the turn. So we've got a little bit of pressure going. She's nice. And blue mana for our opponent. This might be Super Friends then, because that is 4 colours right there. You don't go that high in colours unless you're playing Super Friends. All hail Super Friends. The most overplayed deck in the world. Right, Bygone Bishop. That has actually changed our plans a little bit. More pressure. Need to go faster. As Sonic would say, gotta go fast. The longer you let Super Friends do their thing, the worse it gets. Next turn, we'll probably play Evolutionary Leap, which allows us to hold up a green mana to sacrifice any of our creatures, should he choose to try and remove them. And a Cultivator's Caravan for more mana fixing. Well, that allows us to put our shields up with the Evolutionary Leap, at least. And also allows us to go grab Bloodbriar, which is a great little combination with From Beyond. Sacking those Scions every turn is pretty nice. And a land drop as well. Beautiful, beautiful. Right. Let's get that down. We also have Blossoming Defense as another form of defense. But I'd rather keep that around for Bloodbriar when we eventually draw it. For now though, 4 damage in the air every single turn is not bad. Not bad at all. Opponent's down to 14. So they're going to have to speed up their clock quite fast. Hopefully we hit a land again so we can From Beyond and still hold up Evolutionary Leap. And from there, we'll just be fine on mana for the rest of the game, really. We've got no targets for the sacrifice as well, so it's literally here just to make Scions for sacrificing. Tamiyo. Okay. If you tick down, I'm going to Blossoming Defense. So it fizzles and I'll kill the Tamiyo. Somehow... Oh. Yeah, well... Did not expect that. Blossoming Defense on the Bygone Bishop. Makes it hexproof, means you can't target it. So the Bygone Bishop's going to untap next turn. And kill the Tamiyo. Pressure still on. And we hit the land. Yes! Alright, we're actually drawing like a boss. From Beyond, holding up the green mana for our Evolutionary Leap. And Bygone Bishop to kill Tamiyo. That's 1 Planeswalker down. Several thousand to go. A fog. Oh, that's the only fog that actually stops me attacking Planeswalkers. No. That one says all combat damage that would be dealt. There's the commence the festivities that says to players, so it doesn't actually help with Planeswalkers. Oh, that sucks. But the only way he's minusing again to stop us from attacking is by killing Tamiyo, which essentially will have done our job for us. But somehow I expect another Planeswalker that can deal with this situation, because that's how Super Friends works. A Linvala is actually just as bad. With that in mind, if we sack a creature, he doesn't get a 3/3. And we get a card in hand. I'll get rid of the Selfless Spirit. Deny a 3/3 to our opponent and get a Bloodbriar. Which should hopefully quickly get out of hand. He still gets the life gain though. But no 3/3. None for you. And probably going to plus here. It says if any of these deal combat damage... Yep, combat damage in general, he draws a card. So if I was to attack him and he blocked, he'd draw 2 cards. So we've got to remember to not do anything with our bishop. We get a Scion token. And a familiar. Alright. Shields are down on removal though. We don't really have any way to stop it. But we can... Bloodbriar here, and then we can Overwhelm Mysteries, which will tap us out, but it'll sack a Scion as well, which will give us a counter on Bloodbriar. We're also going to get a Clue token as well. So our other alternative is to sack that Clue for extra card advantage, though. If he's going to remove our creature while our shields are down, at least we're going to get another Clue from it. So I'm all fine for that. We're not attacking in anyway, because it'd give him card advantage, and that's the one thing I don't want him to have right now. Plus, with a 5/5 in the air, he's pretty much just stopped us in our tracks. Okay. Land. It's got to have another Planeswalker, surely. Come on. Show me the money. Tragic Arrogance. That actually hurts. That hurts quite a fair bit. We keep one of our enchantments, we keep our clue token, and one of our creatures. Yeah, that was bad. He won't be letting us have our Bloodbriar, I can tell you that much, because that will get out of hand. Because all of the removing of the other permanents is a sacrifice in the wording. So we'd get a counter for everything we sacrificed. Oh, he's letting us have it. Alright. Don't agree with that, but okay. And we still get a single trigger off of the of mysteries as well, because of our Bygone Bishop dying. If the... Oh, he's tapping our clue token and our Bloodbriar. Okay. Sure. Oath of Nissa. Looks at the top 3, and he gets to pick a creature, land, or planeswalker. And he whiffs. Nice. Nice. Alright. It's looking like an interesting matchup suddenly. Gets in with his Linvala though. That is going to kill us in 3 more turns. If we don't find an answer for that soon. The land is not the answer to that. Although we probably should play it. We'll sack a clue first. Because at the very least... Let's go tap that Westvale Abbey. At the very least we still can cast our Filigree Familiar. And if we get any kind of land we don't want... Ooh. That gets rid of Linvala. And sacrifices us a clue to the clue gods. Yeah, I guess that's the plan. So, Forest, Angelic Purge, killing Linvala. Yes. Sacking the clue gets us a counter on Bloodbriar. Officially puts shields down for him, so that card needs to protect his Tamiyo, otherwise it's gone. Any removal for our Bloodbriar, we've still got the green mana open to sack it. And potentially get another Bloodbriar, although it would be very sad if that was to happen. Another Chandra, though. Which way are you going with this? The minus ability doesn't help him. Lifespring Druid is a blocker. So Tamiyo lives unless we get a Lunarch Mantle. And he'll plus to make these two draw him cards. Sure. Wish there was a little symbol so I didn't have to remember. And he deals 2 damage by exiling some Petal Grove. Okay. Evolving Wilds. How much do you hate me, game? How much do you hate me today? We'll go Filigree Familiar. We'll gain some life. And then... I wish I hadn't tapped double green now. That was my fault. It's not the game's. We will... I guess we'll wait until the last minute to sack Evolutionary Leap, because we're not going to be able to cast anything for 2 mana, I don't think. Nothing that Evolutionary Leap can grab us anyway. But we will play the Evolving Wilds. We're going to swing in at one of his Planeswalkers. Yep, we're going to do it. He gets to draw 2 cards, but he gets his blocker out of the way. And as long as he's got blockers, we can't really do anything. So, gets to draw 2 cards. Arguably a bad play, but we'll see. And we've got Evolving Wilds to pump up our Bloodbriar again. We've got Evolutionary Leap to sack one of them away. Planar Outburst. Yep. That looks like he was his top deck though anyway, so... Sacker Evolving Wilds. Go get a green source. Evolutionary Leap. It doesn't matter. Filigree Familiar, I guess. And we get a land. At least we're guaranteed a creature off of this Evo Leap into another Bloodbriar. Not bad. We just need a sack outlet and we're good to go, really. Gets a 4/4 land to keep his planeswalkers safe. It might have been a bad play to let him draw 2 cards there, but I'm almost certain that the next card was going to be Planar Outburst anyway. So we were just, if we didn't do it that way, we were just delaying the inevitable. Tragic Arrogance. He gets rid of 1 Planeswalker. I think we'll leave it until he's close to ultimating though. And we'll just go Drownyard Temple, Bloodbriar. And pass the turn. So a minus to Chandra can kill our Bloodbriar, and then we'll just Evolutionary Leap and probably grab another Bloodbriar. Gets a Tireless Tracker though. Sure. And he's ticking up. Not for the mana. He does get to cast Gideon though, which makes our Tragic Arrogance a little bit better. Not sad about that at all. And this way as well, we get to make sure he keeps just a 2/2 ally token. And he's going to lose a land out of it. So yeah, this Tragic Arrogance is going to be pretty harsh for him. Okay. So he gets to attack him with his land though, and it's going to draw him a card. Unless I block and sack, and then there's no combat damage dealt. But I like my Bloodbriar where he is. Not attacking. Sure, fine. Ooh, Blossoming Defense. Would have preferred a target for sacrifice, but it's good enough, I suppose. Tragic Arrogance. Time to get rid of a few Planeswalkers. Right, we keep our creature, we keep our Evolutionary Leap. He keeps his Caravan, he keeps his ally token, his Oath of Nissa, and I guess he keeps his Tameo. Yeah. Excuse me. Sacrifices all non-land permanents. Damn it! Read your cards, kids. Read your cards. Okay. Pass the turn. We should have selected the land as creature, since he would have kept it anyway. I thought it said sacrifice the rest, but it didn't. I don't use it that often, so forgive me. Myria Shepherd. Awesome. Every planes that he plays is going to get him a Planeswalker back on the battlefield. Every other land he plays is going to get a Planeswalker back into his hand. That is the game. Unless I get another Tragic Arrogance. There's no coming back from that card. Not at this point in the game. So is he ticking up or is he ticking down? He's ticking it up. If his land deals combat damage, he draws a card. If my Bloodbriar deals combat damage, he draws a card. Why is he not attacking? What have I got that's so intimidating? I've got another Evolutionary Leap. That's good. Well, what we can do here is we can make a 1/1 token. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got enough for 2 sacks on that as well. Might as well do it on his turn. There's no reason really to do it on ours, because the Evolutionary Leap's only going to get creatures, and I think Selfless Spirit is the only 2-drop creature that we've got. This Evolutionary Leap is a dead card though, so it's pretty bad. It's the only one that we really did not want to draw. Amiria Shepherd gets a Planeswalker back to hand. Which one does he want most? Probably Chandra. Yes. Chandra it is. Plays Chandra. Is he going to minus or is he going to plus? He's going to minus. So we're going to Blossom in defense. Keep it alive. Now I can understand why you wouldn't attack. But still, I don't plan on blocking because this is going to happen. It's right here. Yep, if either of those two deal combat damage, he draws a card. We get to negate one of them though. So we're going to Westvale Abbey and sack the token that we get. And in fact, he's just swinging in with that. Don't understand you. Don't. Sack the human token. Get a counter. And a Filigree Familiar, which is a decent sack outlet, I suppose. It's a redraw into another creature. But we're dead in 2 turns. He draws another card. Blossoming Defense. Not what I want to see. So we'll go Filigree Familiar. Gain a little bit of life. Now we can survive another turn. Sort of. And we'll sack the Familiar. Get a Tamio's Journal. And Nissa. Don't think we've played our land drop this turn, have we? We'll play Nissa. Get a forest. Play said forest and flip Nissa. So we could make a 4/4 a Shire. We're losing Nissa next turn anyway. So it's whether we want an extra card in hand or we want a 4/4. You can just tap down my creatures. A Shire is another target for Evolutionary Leap should we want it. I think a Shire's just better here. Although if we got a Lunarch Mantle, we'd go 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage with a Bloodbriar if we could suit up the Mantle onto it and keep it alive. I think we'll make the Ashaya token. I'm not sure about that, but we'll pass the turn. If I decide I don't want it, it's an extra creature, which is what Nissa might have done anyway. Solemn Offering. Goodbye, Evolutionary Leap. Do we want to sack it? Right now, what's our options? He could tap down our creatures. Yeah. He's going to tap down one of them with Tamio anyway. And then we're going to Blossoming Defense it to keep it alive. But the other one's just going to get tapped down and be useless. So we'll get another Bloodbriar. We lose Evolutionary Leap, but we have a backup. It's now no longer a dead card in our hand. So, expect... Ooh, he gets another Planeswalker back. Going for Gideon this time. Probably going to minus him and get the emblem, would be my guess. He's going to minus Tamio to try lock down our Bloodbriar, and we're going to keep it safe. So, give it hexproof. Has he got an answer to that? Dispel. Okay. So we're dead. Okay. I'm glad. I was bored of playing against Super Friends. I always am. Yeah. Pluses. Deals 2 damage. We lose our Nissa. Plays Gideon. Probably ultimates. Does nothing. Alright, just goes to attacks. Come at me for 10. Thank you. Ah, dear. That's Super Friends for you. And that's gonna do it. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. We kind of stood up for ourselves a little bit, but once you start getting Planeswalkers every turn with an Emiria Shepherd, there's absolutely nothing you can do short of removing it, and we just didn't draw into anything for that kind of stuff, so bad draws, bad matchup, and yeah, what can you do? Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy the episode, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal. Lets me know you're enjoying the series and the deck list. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already for some more Magic Duels content in the future, as well as other stuff. And if you've already subscribed and haven't already, then be sure to hit the little bell icon next to the subscription button. It helps me out and helps you out, because it'll notify you when I release a new video. You should do that for every content creator you watch. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.